Welcome back to the Real Estate Sitdown presented by Double B Homes and the Pemberton Home Team. This is episode 32. I am Blair Berg, and this is Jaiden Millette. How you doing, Jaiden?
Doing well, and yourself?
Doing pretty well. How was your New Year's?
Not bad. I went to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
But
No, I made it to the ball drop, but the Vikings ripping my heart out once again made it a little bit less enjoyable.
Can't even watch
but
anymore.
Well, I want us to lose at this point, but just not to the Packers.
Yeah.
That unacceptable.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I digress. So, anyways, at the time of recording, today is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. The interest rate for a 30-year conventional loan is 6.67. So, literally like no movement from
about the
2
same.
weeks ago.
Yep.
Probably should, we took a hiatus last week for the holidays, but not much has changed in those 2 weeks.
World kind of just stops for 2 weeks with the holidays anyways.
Yep. And again, even on social media today, I saw people saying, no, not 6 rate hikes, 4 rate hikes. Then I saw another source say 3 rate hikes. So, not 6 rate cuts, not 4 rate cuts, but like 3 rate cuts. So,
whatever.
There's different talks about cuts, when they're going to happen, how many there's going to be. No one knows. So, keep an eye on that. We'll discuss them as they come. So, today's first topic, we're going to do sod online. If your algorithm's anything like mine, stuff from Chris Crone shows
I
up.
think it's Crone.
Is it Crone? Does
Yeah.
it pop up on your stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all over my stuff. I think if you have any sort of like real estate, personal,
He's there.
finance stuff, he'll pop up in your feed. I think some of his stuff is like insane, but
Yeah, he's got some really hot takes.
he's got some good real estate takes. One of my favorite, I shouldn't say favorite, one that I thought was funny and made me laugh out loud, and I think he was dead serious. Was talking about, have you seen the one where he talks about he doesn't get sick because that's a command you give your body, and he just tells himself not to.
I might have
sick.
seen like a little clip of it on TikTok.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's very wild.
Honestly, it could be true.
But he has good real estate. He has some good real estate stuff. So, and this is a very short clip.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll review it quick.
Are home values in 2024 going to go down or up? Here are my predictions for the values of real estate in 2024. Remember when the pandemic hit 2020, 2021? What happened to real estate? Most people thought the market was going to be hit. The opposite happened. The median went from under $300,000 to over $400,000. Well, in 2024, with rates dropping as we move towards a presidential election, I'm predicting that by the end of 2024, that our new national median is going to go from just barely over $400,000 to over $500,000.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of truth to that for sure.
yeah. So, I mean, a big thing that we keep talking about is that there's going to be rates dropping. It just is. It's going to drop, and especially because, again, in a presidential election year, with a president whose approval rating isn't exceptionally high, we won't get into that, but not exceptionally high. So he knows that something needs to change to get people back in his corner.
Yep.
So interest rates are a great way to do that. But we've also said that with those lowering interest rates, prices are going to go up because more buyers run to the market. There's more money to be had. So, but from the median price going up to $400,000 over $500,000, that's
excessive. Just because I think, especially from it going in 2022 to 2023 pricing wise, like rates were way lower than they're going to be, if not going to be ever again.
That's a great point. I actually wasn't even thinking about
like,
that.
you know what I mean? If the rate doesn't drop significantly and they actually equate to what's supposed to happen in the market, I think it'll be better. I don't doubt that they're going to go up.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But if interest rates are rather going down to 5% instead of 3%, 2%, it's like should be fine.
Yeah, and I would totally agree. And I guess I didn't even think about that because, I predict them going up quite steeply because lower interest rates bring more competition.
Yeah.
But to your point, I'm thinking by the end of 2024, 4.5 is like best case scenario.
Yeah, which
and that's not 2.5.
I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget. I don't know all that much, but 10 years ago, what were the rates? They weren't no damn 2.5%.
Yeah.
You go talk to most people's parents, like they were good with a 6 or a 7 at points in time, right? Obviously, there's outliers where it was still in the 2s, but
Well, and you got to think too, and you, like I said, you opened up my mind, and I wasn't even thinking about this track, but again, rates were better. They're at like 2.5, the lowest we've ever seen. But on top of that, because of the pandemic, the government was giving a lot of stimulus to the common people. So you're getting those stimulus checks. A lot of debt was on hold. People weren't paying their student loans. So those weren't factoring in. So there was more money to be had. Now people, we're back to paying our student loans and everything. The interest rates will be higher than 2.5. That I can almost guarantee. I always say never guarantees when it comes to interest rates. I can almost guarantee that in 2024 we won't see 2.5%.
No, it would be very unrealistic. And if it does happen again, God bless you all. I hate everything.
Yeah, and
like basically, I said, that's just what it is.
So if the median price went up over $500,000, I'd be surprised. But I do expect them to go up.
Yeah, 100%. But hopefully, it's not drastically enough where it's. I mean, you feel it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So next, we will move on to the comment section. The first comment I'm going to read is from a video that we had put out about another video. I'm pretty sure we were talking about using the rental income from a multifamily property to help you qualify for that mortgage. Again, I think that was the original video was saying like we couldn't be more clear. Well, here I am tripling down on it, giving a little more clarity to it. So this comment says, you don't have the rent from the property before you buy the property. No shit. So when you're qualifying for the mortgage, obviously you're not making that rental income from a property you don't own yet. But when you're qualifying for that mortgage, that your lender, Wells Fargo, Rocket Mortgage, your local credit union, whoever, they can get that rent roll from any active leases. If there's active leases on the property right now, they can use those numbers to help you qualify. 75% of that it'll look like that's just like your W-2 income. So that can be added to your qualifying income to help you qualify for that property. If there aren't active leases, they will send out an appraiser just like they would appraise the property. They will send out an appraiser to appraise it for market rent. That's exactly how I bought my duplex. There was no active leases, so that had to appraise for market rent, which in my case was great because if market rent wasn't at least a certain number, I didn't want the property anyways. So it was an extra level of assurance for me that if it doesn't get X amount on the open market, I don't want it. Because it wouldn't make sense at the price I was buying at. So that was an extra contingency for me to help me walk away.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just an idiot. He's clearly never bought a home because he also doesn't understand that, like, if you have a normal, typical purchase of a home, a single-family home, not even an investment property, technically, if you have a 45-day close, let's say, you will still probably have 30 days, hypothetically, to get approved for financing.
Yeah, and
like it's you have the finances to be able to pay on the loan after you close on the property. That is why you can get approved if you get a gift from a family member. I mean, it kind of just shows it in true colors.
Yeah, super nice thing too. And I think Jackson brought it up when we had him on. He was talking about the active leases there. You have 2 months before your first mortgage payment is due. So it's even better when you're buying an investment property. Let's say you buy that quadplex and those 3 other rents are going to cover your mortgage to live there. You'll be living there for free, making a little bit of money. You can get 2 months of that rent saved up. It's possible by the time you move in, you'll never actually have to be using your own cash at all. So, long story short, yes, you don't have the rent from the property yet. You haven't bought it, but you can use any active leases to help you qualify, or the bank will send an appraiser out and will appraise it for market rent. So this next comment I'm going to read is real short. It was about, I think it was like a meme that I had posted about rent going up. I think it was like, it's that time of year again. You just got the notice that your rent is going up. And he said, mine just went up $300, which that's a lot. But I know, I mean, back when I was renting, every year like clockwork, it was at least 3.5%.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think My family's apartment just went up like 100 and something.
But and that's what we're talking about. When we're talking about 30-year conventional fixed rate mortgages.
Yeah, they don't change.
You know what you're going to get. The variables are your property taxes and your homeowners insurance.
Right.
And I know it's kind of a hot topic online right now. People who live in Florida and places like that near the water, their homeowners insurance is just skyrocketing due to, hazardous weather concerns. That I get. But here, especially in the Midwest, my property taxes went up a little bit this year, but nothing even super noticeable on our bill. But it is less than my rent would have gone up if I was still renting.
Yep.
And you got to, if you're thinking about your personal finances, I understand that renting sometimes is just your only option is what you got to do while you save up. But sit down and talk with a lender, talk with a real estate professional, and talk about that kind of break-even analysis that you'd have to do where I guarantee you at some point owning will make sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over the life of it with rent just going up.
Yep.
Because imagine you're like, I'm just going to rent for like 20 years and your rent goes up 3 to 5% every year.
Yeah.
It's insane. So next we will go into FAQs.
Blair, how much have homes appreciated in value in the last 10 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as someone who invests in real estate myself, like that's something that really caught my eye originally. It's just the steady appreciation of homes year over year. On average, it's about 4%, but there are definitely outliers to that. Obviously, 08 to 11 down years. Yep. But I mean, in the last 10 years alone, 4% year over year. In 2020, it was 11.3%. In 2021, it was 17.8%.
Jeez.
Yeah. So a lot of people were making a lot of money during the pandemic selling their homes that they had owned since, since the early 2000s. A lot of empty nesters, older people who had paid off the 30-year mortgage.
Yep.
That's all profit.
Right.
So, and what I love about real estate too, obviously, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think that you should diversify your investments. I think you should also be investing in the stock market as well. But what I like about real estate is returns are generally around where the S&P is, but you also have an appreciating asset.
Yep.
So you can pull HELOCs out of it. You can do cash out refis. When you sell, you can get that money out. When stocks, they're not a tangible asset. They just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
You can make improvements to real estate. You can live in it. You can't live inside of your Apple stock.
No, I wish.
You can't rent out an Apple stock and make rent on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where the returns are comparable to the S&P, there are other ways that can be making money for you on top of the appreciation. That's what I like about real estate.
Yeah, for sure.
Jaiden, what's the average salary of the first-time home buyer?
So as of last year, the average salary of a first-time home buyer was a little bit over $47,000. And I know that is going to be a shock to most people. Like, oh my God, I can make less than $50,000 a year and I can buy my first property.
Didn't someone just comment on a video say you have to make over $100,000?
That was ironic. That was part of the reason why I said that.
Interesting.
Just to cut this up into math here for you real quick. Just let's make it easy. I'll put it into whole numbers for you so you can really understand it. $50,000 a year, and this is net salary, by the way. So I do want to make that clear. So I suppose whatever you can add on for your tax bracket and your state for taxes and what you actually will end up making. But if you are netting $50,000 after taxes on your salary, just divide that by 12, $4,100 a month. You can purchase your first home.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you could probably make that at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
right now.
Ask California about that, but out there. But
stock Minnesota.
Yeah. No, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than affordable.
And there are so many programs out there to help you get your first time. You can get a FHA loan, has lower rates, and you only need 3.5% down. There are. I mean, most programs are local. Like Minnesota's got the Home Possible program.
Yep.
There's down payment assistance. There are so many things out there that if you are curious about buying a home at all, talk to a lender, talk to a real estate agent, or just Google it. If you're not comfortable talking to somebody yet, Google it. You'll find some things that'll pique your interest and you might not fully understand it. Then bring those questions to somebody.
Right.
But just do a quick Google search, please.
Yeah, it's a really simple concept that a lot of people get confused on too, because if you were to think about it, if you were to rent, now this does make a difference if you're single, married, whatever, you're a couple. If you can rent for under $1,000 a month for 3 years, squirrel away enough money for a down payment, or like a down payment plus cash to close, and you are a average $50,000 a year worker, like it is not unattainable.
Nope.
I mean, I'll just put that in simple terms. Like if you're a 25, 26-year-old, you're out of college, you got your job for a couple of years, you got an average salary of around $50,000 a year, it is more than attainable for you to be able to get into a property within 4 years of living. Now, yeah, if you go rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for $2,500, I can't help you there. But if you're willing to be able to get into a home, an appreciating asset that is going to make you money in the long run, that you can trade up for eventually as your life continues to go up. In an apartment, you're paying somebody to make money on you. In a home, you don't have to pay somebody to make money on you. You get to pay to make money yourself, if that makes sense.
Building your own equity.
Yes.
Building your net worth.
Equity.
Yeah, like I said, it's very simple. There are so many programs out there that people don't know about. I was looking at something the other day, and I found a local program that I had never even heard of. So they're out there, and I just think they're not talked about enough.
Yeah, 100%. Get in contact with a lender, and if you don't have a lender to get in contact with to ask about first-time home buyer situations, leave a comment.
Yeah, come to us. We'll let you know.
DM or whatever it is.
Yeah. So, everybody, hope you are off to the start of a very successful, productive 2024 from us here at the Real Estate Sitdown. This has been another episode. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment on the post so we can get into those. And until next time, I'm Blair Berg. This is Jaiden Millette. We'll see you in the next episode.